Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of today, Sunday, February 9th, through Saturday to come, February 15th. And we've got stuff on the Christian calendar as well as the Hebrew calendar to go over. So I'm going to get right into that, beginning with the Christian calendar and the feast days of, well, I'll just mention St. Blaise, which I've been mentioning him for like 3 weeks. And then before that for probably like 2 months. In last week's reading, I corrected myself. I said, oops, I thought I remembered St. Blaise's feast day being the 11th, but I guess I was thinking about Our Lady of Lords, which is logically, and it's, would be in my mind as well. Well, turns out the 3rd was indeed a feast day of St. Blaise. However, so is the 11th, in addition to it being the feast day of Our Lady of Lords, similar to how, for example, my birthday, 6/13, is both the feast day of St. Anthony and the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. So, you can have more than one, and this is the case here. So I won't talk about St. Blaise again, although I'll just remind you, those of you who get this video in time, to go to a church today, a Roman Catholic church in your area. If you're interested to have your throat blessed, today is the day that you can do that. Our Lady of Lords, let's talk about her. So for this, I've gone to www.franciscanmedia.org. On December 8th, in the year 1854, so 9/9, December 8th is, of course, also the feast day of the Annunciation. They set it up that way so that like 9 months later, the Immaculate Conception, rather, 9 months later, they could celebrate the birth of Mary. Anyway. So she had a double feast day that day. It was both the Immaculate Conception and whatever that we're about to talk about also happened. On December 8th, 1854, which equals 9/9, Pope Pius, also the 9th, proclaimed the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. Oh, okay. In the Apostolic Constitution of a Latin name that I'm not going to try to repeat. A little more than 3 years later, on February 11th, so 2/11 or 11/11, in the year 1858, which also equals 1304 or 11/11, a young lady appeared to Bernadette Soubirous. This began a series of visions. During the apparition on March 25th, the lady identified herself with the words, quote, "I am the Immaculate Conception," end quote. Bernadette was a sickly child of poor parents. Their practice of Catholic faith was scarcely more than lukewarm, so they were not very religious people. Bernadette could pray the Our Father, the Hail Mary, and the Creed meaning the Apostles' Creed, or some may refer to it as the Nicene Creed. And she also knew the prayer of the miraculous medal, quote, "O Mary, conceived without sin," end quote. During interrogations, Bernadette gave an account of what she saw. It was, quote, "something white in the shape of a girl," end quote. She used the word aquero, a dialect term meaning, quote, "this thing," end quote. It was, quote, "a pretty young girl," end quote, "with rosary over her arm," end quote. Her white robe was encircled by a blue girdle. She wore a white veil. There was a yellow rose on each foot. A rosary was in her hand. Bernadette was also impressed by the fact that the lady did not use the informal form of address, tu, but the polite form, vous. The humble virgin appeared to a humble girl and treated her with dignity. Through that humble girl, Mary revitalized and continues to revitalize the faith of millions of people. People began to flock to Lourdes from other parts of France and from all over the world. In 1862, church authorities confirmed the authenticity of the apparitions and authorized the cult of Our Lady of Lourdes for the diocese. The Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes became worldwide in 1907. Lourdes has become a place of pilgrimage and healing, but even more of faith. Church authorities have recognized over 60 miraculous cures. Of course, 6, a number being connected to Mary, although there have probably been many more. To people of faith, this is not surprising. It's a continuation of Jesus's healing miracles, now performed at the intercession of his mother. Some would say that the greater miracles are hidden. Many who visit Lourdes return home with renewed faith and a readiness to serve God and their needy brothers and sisters. There still may be people who doubt the apparitions of Lourdes. Perhaps the best that can be said to them are the words that introduce the song of Bernadette, quote, "For those who believe in God, no explanation is necessary. For those who do not believe, no explanation is possible," end quote. Our Lady of Lourdes is the patron saint of body ills. So sicknesses and pain, affliction. Moving on to the Hebrew calendar. It is the feast day of the 15th of Shavat I'm going to give you the appropriate day. Monday the 10th, we celebrate Tu B'Shavat, which is the 15th of Shavat, otherwise known. And for that, I've gone to www.chabad.org to understand what they have to say about this. The 15th of Shavat on the Jewish calendar, celebrated this year on Monday, February 10th, 2020, is the day that marks the beginning of a new year for trees. Commonly known as Tu B'Shavat, this day marks the season in which the earliest blooming trees in the land of Israel emerge from their winter sleep and begin a new fruit-bearing cycle. We mark the 15th of Shavat by eating fruit, particularly from the kinds that are singled out by the Torah in its praise of the bounty of the Holy Land. These are grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and dates. On this day, we remember that man is a tree of the field. And those words can be found in, ironically, for those of you who are familiar with my channel and my teachings, Deuteronomy 20:19, which is the equivalent of 11:19, which of course is the day we celebrate King Osiris on this channel. 11:19, King Osiris, who was basically buried in a tree. Man is a tree. And we reflect on the lessons that we can derive from botanical analog. If you want to read more about the 15th of Shavat, of course, Shabbat.org has far more to say about it, as do, I'm sure, many, many other places. But I'm going to go on, because we have so much to talk about, to the planetary calendar, and beginning with today. At 2:33 a.m., the full moon in Leo at 20 degrees Leo, or 11, occurred. And on the last day for which this reading is, on February 15th, we will also experience at 11:03 a.m. Uranus semi-sextile Chiron. This should be pretty exciting and pretty fiery too. Uranus will be at 3 degrees and located in Taurus at 11 degrees. Semi-sextile to Chiron, which will also be at 3 degrees, located in the fire sign Aries, also at 11 degrees. Later on that day, February 15th, at 5:17 p.m., we'll experience the third quarter moon in Scorpio at 26 degrees. And that brings us to the dice and the cards. This week I'm beginning with romantic dinner. Buy shoes, perhaps for the dinner. And email. Maybe that'll be how somebody contacts you, how you get back in touch, or how you accept maybe the invitation. And Spirit says dirty movie, which can be something else like online contact, maybe connected to email or exchanging pictures or texts or something like that, online dating even. Forget it. Letting go of something, perhaps from the past, with the full moon right? We're supposed to be letting go of the past and experiencing endings. Also, spend money. Maybe forget that, like forget our connection, our ties to money, and how we worry about it as if we don't have the ability to manifest more. It's like, screw it, just spend money. And now Spirit says, still buy shoes. No. And stay in bed. Going to the cards this week, I am using my Universal Love Oracle with an overall energy, a beginning energy of Moon Tree, which is not only representative of the actual moon, and I'm sure showing up because we have a full moon this week, and in fact, again, today, the full moon in Leo, but also because it is representative of the tie of the sacred marriage between heaven and earth, or the heavens and earth, including like the moon, so the universe and everything within it, all being one, and sacred marriage in general, as in on this plane. So divine unions, twin flame relationships, soulmate connections, all of that. Behind that, we have a couple that looks like they may be in one such union. They're very close. The feminine seems to be supporting the masculine. He seems to have something to say. He has orbs or orb sphere-shaped circles, right, on his communication centers, for lack of a better term: throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, which is more difficult to see. And those are all controlled by air signs. So both of these cards from right out of the gate looks like air and water have something going on this week. So that may include Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, also goes retrograde the day after the day for which the last day for which this reading is. On the 16th, Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So that could be the air and water. Libra, Aquarius, and of course, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Maybe particularly influential here. But again, this is going to be about support, and it can be one person's inner masculine and feminine, which is absolutely what this card is about. The one behind it, embrace. It looks like a couple in a very, loving hug. And for some of us, it may be representative of that, this, sort of thing coming up this week, maybe particularly because of Valentine's Day or something. But the way the author intended the card is about one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a balanced and harmonious way. So that may be what this is about, or this could be couples coming together, again, supporting one another. That's what it means when the Strength card, which does represent the sign of Leo, shows up in the tarot as it relates to love in particular, or relationships. It is about like mutually supportive relationships. I'm there for you, you're there for me, and maybe in different ways, right? You have your strengths as an individual, I have mine, but we can, support each other and be there for one another like this. For some of us, there could be something going on with family or household or home in a positive way. With the Rider-Waite Tarot, I have an overall energy of the Four of Wands. This can be happiness in relationships as well, up to and including marriage. In fact, this couple looks like they're, maybe on their way out of their ceremony. They just got married. Here's the people still behind that were attending. Right? This is a celebration. Some more of this 11/11 energy, maybe in connection to the dates that I just mentioned that are significant this week. This is a card, is of the wand or fire element, maybe particularly Jupiter. Jupiter is about growth, expansion. This could be your household growing, expanding, your family growing, expanding. Maybe that's why the 10 of Summer is also showing up here, 10 of Cups. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as happy and balanced children. Right behind that, also upright, is the 6 of Summer or Cups, which can definitely be about children, as well as potentially soulmate relationships and people coming back from our past. Friends, romantic partners, family members, reconnecting. The love and care of children could be an important part of your life this week, right? Or people from your childhood may return to it. It doesn't have to just be your childhood. It can be any time in your past. Old memories can be healed, so we can fix something, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. So maybe like the home of your dreams, the job of your dreams, the relationship of your dreams, you're marrying the little boy that you were, attracted to as a kid, or vice versa. All of those things are possible. It could be cohabitating, moving in, or just moving house in general when the Four of Wands is showing up. Going back to the air sign energy that seems to be pretty prevalent here. Overall energy of crown chakra from my angel therapy cards. Pay attention to your ideas as they are messages of true divine guidance sent in answers to your prayer. They may be specifically with regard to romantic partnership, with twin flame also upright behind that card. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. Maybe that's where romantic dinner comes in. And again, can also be tied to sacred marriage. So maybe marriage here with relation to the Four of Wands is metaphoric. And it's not necessarily a 3D marriage or wedding that's going to happen, or even engagement. But it is about the connection, the soulmate connection, or twin flame connection that is being found between perhaps two indigo beings. The person that you're inquiring about is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive natural born leader. So on that note, let's get into, I wasn't going to start with these, but I'll go ahead. I keep trying to get to like a traditional spread with the two tarot decks, but let's see what the Rider-Waite deck has to say. All of these cards are shuffled and, prepared and whatever. Shuffled, cut in sixes like I always do, and then like sort of shuffled some more and wherever I landed. Okay, so we'll just see where I landed. So I'll just do general energy because I'm going to be back in a moment with the love reading for the week. And I'm also going to do like Valentine's, not necessarily Valentine's Day, but like Valentine's season, weekend, specific readings for each sign as well, I think. Okay, so fire, earth, air, and water. You guys know the drill, right? Looks like I should move them up just a little bit to be better in frame. So that's all we're going to do here. And here we go. Okay, fire signs. Your card is the Six of Swords in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse in a general sense means that you may have something to say. So maybe you are that masculine. For example, there was on that card with the blue feminine and the white masculine that I said was, for me, representative of air and water, maybe coming together, and perhaps Mercury in Pisces. Maybe that's why you have something to say. And what the difficulty is that what you have to say is as important as the manner in which you say it, the manner in which you communicate it. Think about carefully what it is you need to get across so that you communicate it in a way that it gets across, that you can say what you mean and mean what you say. In terms of, like I said, I'm not going to get into the other energies, but just for example, in the context of love, for example, you may need to say something to confront a situation, confront issues in the relationship in order for it to move forward. So just, relate that in a general sense too. It's about needing to confront something. Perhaps you have something to say. You have important information to share in some respect. So that is for you, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, doesn't matter. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Your card is Major Arcana card 15, the Devil, which for some may just be showing up because you are a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It could be just tied to that energy. Or maybe on a larger scale, representative of the fact, like the transit, for example, of Jupiter, the planet and god of expansion and growth and karma and luck, transiting your sign, Capricorn, transiting, that energy. Could be about that. For others, it may be having a more traditional meaning. And in a general sense, what's important to remember when the devil shows up is that no matter what your situation is, you always have options. Like people may try to convince you that your options are limited and you don't have any choices. And it's important to never allow yourself to slip into that sort of headset, that sort of mindset where you believe that to be true, because then you have the potential to manifest negative and self-fulfilling prophecies. Then you would be like enslaving yourself. You would be chaining yourself to a particular outcome. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that. So regardless of whatever's happening in your life, it's important to remember that you can always free yourself from whatever these, supposed restrictions are that are holding you back at any time that you choose to. And you may be feeling like right now that you're not completely in control of your life. And sometimes this is because of our own actions or our inaction, that we feel like we've sort of relinquished control to somebody else or some other entity or energy. But we can always take action at any time. We remain in control of our actions and our reactions. And our next action step can be to take back control of our lives whenever we feel like that. Even if it's just about making a choice of what do you want to eat? You know how like females in particular have, I'm thinking about romantic dinner, right? The diet that showed up. Females in particular have a reputation for like never knowing what we want to eat. And like, the man says, where should we go? And you're like, I don't know. But you do have an idea. You do know what you want to eat in a way. Well, do you want this, babe? No. You want that? No. You want no. But what do you want? I don't know. So it could be even like that, like taking charge of that, or in terms of looking at the other cards, not just the Four of Wands, but the other ones that I went over before, and like the relationships energy that came up, the marriage or wedding energy that came up. Maybe, you ever watch like Say Yes to the Dress and you have an idea about how you want your wedding to go. And there's sometimes people say like, oh, well, you can't have that. Or that's like non-traditional. Nobody does that. And, those sort of things. It can be even there where people are trying to make it seem like you are restricted, you are limited. There's a certain protocol for the way stuff is supposed to happen. You have a choice to be different, to dare to be different if that's what you want to do. And sometimes that can be what the devil is meaning, or at least right now I'm feeling that that's potentially what the devil is meaning. I did my wedding how I wanted to. People may have thought that it was, unconventional. It was very fast. I got engaged in August. I got married in February. So it was like 5-6 months later. My ex-husband and I paid for our wedding ourselves. We were kids at the time. We still paid for our wedding ourselves. We didn't get married in the church. He was Muslim. I was Christian. We got married in a loft in the Village in New York, if you're familiar with that area. So that's very untraditional. We jumped a broom. My uncle married us. We flew him in from South Carolina, and he's a Baptist minister. He wasn't even like, he wasn't even the same religion rather as either one of us, or at least not practice, not the same sect. But, we had him do it. So it was just like all over the place, but it was how we wanted it. And it was a fabulous wedding. In fact, our guests, went on to talk about it for years. So somebody else that's trying to achieve that, you have the right to that too, to do whatever it is you want to do in the way that you want to do it, and not have to relinquish your desires for outside influences. And that's what I'm picking up again, because this is about being happy. It's about doing what you want to do to be happy. So even as it relates to maybe moving house, how you decorate your house, or where you live, or with whom you live, who you ask to move in, who you don't, or, getting engaged or getting married, could definitely be connected to that. Whatever your situation, if it's as simple as where you're going out to dinner or how your wedding is going to go, it's up to you. Air signs. My fellow Geminis, my fellow Aquarians, and also Libras. Major Arcana card 2, the High Priestess, which is perfect. Speaking of air and water, in the tarot, certainly this card is air and water, at least the way I read it. And in real life, it's air. It is specifically Gemini, the way I read it too. And we even have our symbol up here at the top of the card. It's Major Arcana card 2, which is Roman numeral 2 is the symbol for Gemini. In any case, High Priestess in a general sense means that Geminis, or air signs rather, as much in our heads or crown chakra and, communication, we may be, this card, when it shows up, means that it might be more important for you to rely on your spiritual self, your higher levels of consciousness, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, even like dreams and stuff like that, than your intelligence, your intellect, your, maybe focusing on your 3D level, like, mindset, which we tend to be, pretty intellectual, or at least logical and analytical, if not super smart. That may not be your best strength this week. This week, your best strength may be your conscious. And if you are dealing more with subconscious, again, as in like dreams and fantasies and stuff, which may be the case with the Six of Cups having shown up, it could definitely be about dreams, especially from the past, like things coming up, whether they are daydreams and you're like, I wish I had done this, or, I always wanted to XYZ, or whatever the case is. Now could be the time when you're making those things happen. Some of us may want to keep some sort of diary or journal as it relates to our dreams and or fantasies and goals, and be a little bit more practical about it, like an earth sign. We're here crossing the earth signs. Maybe want to be a little bit more grounded and practical about it like them. And it's also a good idea, if you're having a lot of dreams, vivid or not, like however they are, to write them down when you first wake up, because we can think that we're going to remember them. And then you may find like later on, like, oh, damn, what was that dream? I wanted to, talk about it to so-and-so. I wanted to, whatever. And now I can't even remember. Like when we first wake up, we can remember pretty well. That's when you need to write it down, because it could be like messages and things that are going to pop up later. Synchronicities are also very, very likely to be surfacing all over the place in your life right now. And also you need to pay close attention to your intuition in a general sense. If you are a male and or masculine, this can also represent a female that you are particularly attracted to. So I'm still not doing love, I'm still doing general, but even in the general sense, this can be like the woman you want really, really bad, but who you may have been feeling you've been restricted from, she's been out of touch, or you may feel she is unapproachable or something like that. So maybe this week, an opportunity comes up for you to resolve that, communicate what it is you're interested in her regard, and see what happens, right? You got this card about something important that you want to say here, and the need to think about what it is you want to say and how you want to say it, so that the message is communicated in a genuine and complete way. Water signs. Very nice. This is your energy. We all kind of got our energy, with the exception of fire. That's interesting too. But then we have the fire here. So then it's not like they're excluded. They're the overall energy or theme of the reading. Very interesting. In any case, moving on to you water signs, like I promised. The Six of Cups in reverse is your card. And this can mean that you need to stay focused on the present and sort of stop like living in the past and feeling so tied to the past or restricted by your past, like being made to feeling like you can't move forward because of some event in the past. And it can be something very 3D and literal, like, you spend some time in jail or on drugs or whatever. Like, these things happen to the best of us, and it's affecting you now, or you feel it's affecting you now. Even in those cases, there are ways to move beyond. It may require more effort than, somebody that hasn't experienced that, sure. But there are ways to move beyond that. So the idea is for you to start trying to figure out what those ways are. Did I say the Six of Cups in reverse? I'm sorry. This is the Eight of Cups in reverse. But still, we're going to want to move on from those things in the past that have been holding us back and restricting us. But maybe even more positively than with the Six of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Cups gives us also an important reminder of all the wonderful things that are ahead of us, right? It reminds you, especially like if you're getting messages like from cups, from your emotions, from your gut, right? Your intuition is telling you, it's reminding you, like get out of your head, get out of your head about negative things or about restrictions that are holding you back. And maybe in a 3D sense, you do need to get out of some stuff. Like you need to get out of a toxic relationship or job or living arrangement and move into a better place or something like that. Trust yourself, trust that intuition. And, look before you leap, of course, weigh your pros and cons, maybe like an earth sign, again, being practical too, we air signs are being called to do, but definitely believing that it's possible and that it's likely and that it's happening and that you've manifested it and you're successful and you are successful now, you're going to be successful. There's far better things ahead of you than what you have been experiencing in your past, even your recent past, and that, you don't look like your experiences and you don't feel like your experiences and you don't have to can continue to live your experiences. You can move on. All right. So now in a more broad way, let's look and see what's going on with the collective with the other cards, the tarot cards. I'll use these first. I don't remember talking about them before when I mentioned the others. I may have skipped past it because I didn't want to talk about the Nine of Air perhaps. But this is the self-fulfilling prophecies that I was talking about, potentially at least. This card can also be about just like a regular legit need for rest and sleep or something like that. Or it can be about, yes, overwhelming worry and nervousness, anxiety, and definitely manifesting the potential to manifest negativity into your own life. So what was behind this one? It's upside down. Okay. Let's get into it. Are we in frame? Yes, we are. Okay, good. Crowning the masculine. This is the Page of Water. So this is that Piscean energy, like first and foremost for me, being that it is the page. The page is the more youthful and, sometimes actually younger person. And it's the more youthful of a given element, more youthful of a given element. And for the element of water, Pisces is that more youthful. It is the mutable sign. But this can also, of course, be connected to the energy of Scorpio or Cancer, or somebody who's not a water sign at all, just likened to these traits or attributes this week. It could be representative of a younger energy, somebody being younger than you, and maybe even that of a child. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and there are heightened psychic abilities. So you definitely should pay attention to that, those psychic abilities, because the Page of Water is extremely intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. This can also just be good news. It's something that puts a smile on your face. You're happy to receive it. It can be a polite text or, somebody passing you on the street, even just giving you that customary nod of, I see you, brother or sister or whatever it is. And we respond back in kind. It can be something like that, but it's something that makes you happy, or actual good news that's received or given out by you. Surrounding the masculine. Wow. The Nine of Water or Cups. So this is a yes card, particularly as it relates to love, but it's, like you have successfully manifested something. Prayers have been answered. Wishes have been granted. Dreams are coming true when this card shows up. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. You have a love of life. So here's the concerns, right? This was the worry. Masculine subconscious. Major Arcana card Strength. Very appropriate. Number 11, which does represent the sign of Leo. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. So this can be, particularly in this position, the masculine thinking about resolving, an issue, a conflict, maybe. This could be the yes answer to the fact that, yes, it's possible, and he believes it. And, he can release his judgments about himself and about another person, maybe, and forgive himself and them. And, they can make up. And so that's pleasing. That puts a smile on your face. For example, a water sign may be involved. It can be something as simple as that. And perhaps a fire sign as well. Maybe most specifically a Leo. Or this can be something that's being maybe perhaps brought on by the full moon. I talked about in my full moon reading that from my perspective, the way that I was feeling the energy of the full moon, my interpretation was that not only was it going to bring about endings as full moons tend to do, but that it was going to bring about endings through communication specifically. Like we were going to finally approach something, talk it out, figure it out, even if it means I just drop this information. This is the reason why I felt like this. Doesn't mean we're going to make up or whatever. We could still part ways, but matters are being cleared up through some sort of communication. This looks like that, the potential for that. Crowning the feminine. Speaking of communication, it's the 8 of fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over and many things are happening at once. So the 8 of fire is a card that is about communication, receiving some sort of communication. It can even something like you ordered in the mail could be showing up, and it could be that. This could be you reaching out to somebody or you to communicate something. Also, the 8 of fire is about the universe working like behind the scenes on your behalf to make things happen. And especially where stuff had been stuck or had felt stuck to you, energy had felt stuck, it's suddenly moving because the universe has stepped in and moved something. Surrounding the feminine is Major Arcana card 13, release or death, which represents the sign of Scorpio. The end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. Maybe the end of the phase is the one, again, where there had been no communication. So I'm ending that phase, maybe specifically with a Scorpio that's perhaps younger than me, maybe someone's child or something. It could be a romantic interest too. Ending that phase where maybe we weren't talking, there was no movement in our situation because there was no communication. That's coming to an end. Anything could be coming to an end that has been holding you back, that's been stifling you, or this is you being called upon for you as you exist like now to sort of come to an end and allow that part of you to die and for you to transition into your next phase as well. Feminine subconscious. Life experience or the Tower, which is also a card that feels kind of deathish to me. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. And this right on the card is actually an angel with these wings spread apart. And I heard the other day this song called Spread Your Wings. I forget the group. I think it's called Troop. It just came to me, Troop. I think Troop, I think is the name of the group. Whatever it is. The song is called Spread Your Wings. And it's like this guy is saying that he needs to spread his wings and fly away to a place that he's longed for. Like wishes, dreams, prayers. And his heart's going to be the pathway to that. So he's going to follow his heart. He's not listening to necessarily his head or logic or things like that. So that could be through what the feminine is going to, because actually the death card that's sitting here atop it also has an angel with wings spread. So that may mean something for somebody. The strength card does as well. All 3 major arcana cards that are on the table have these angels with wings spread. Crowning the king, look, it's more wing spread. The king of earth, who is generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. So this is things, again, all of a sudden maybe going well for you. You could be offered a job you didn't even apply for, like when the King of Earth of Pentacles pops up like this. Or somebody who's particularly generous or helpful to you, could enter your life in one way or another, even if it's a stranger. Like, for example, the other day, I had a half-hour conversation for free with a lawyer that normally bills $700 an hour. That was like the King of Earth coming into my life and being very generous with me, with his time that translates to money. You know what I mean? Something like that could happen. We don't know each other. We're not friends or whatever. He wasn't doing me a favor in that sense. It was just a genuine act of, I'm going to give you a free consultation because I'm interested in the subject you're talking about. I want to help. So I'm going to give you some advice that would normally cost you $350. It can be something like that too. King of Earth showing up. He, further to that, may be a Capricorn. We saw that Devil card earlier. Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes as well. At the root, foundation, it is the Queen of Air showing up. She is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. A Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes perhaps. We have her here crossing Major Arcana card Death. This could be the air and water, again, combinations. An air sign and a Scorpio, maybe specifically. Even a Scorpio child. I have a Scorpio child, so it could be like something like that. Objective decision making. Clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. It's also crossing, maybe more importantly than the energy of Scorpio, it is crossing death, which again is about letting stuff go and letting stuff come to an end. And that is something that the Queen of Air is very good at, right? Clearing away all that no longer serves you, something nothing no longer vibrates on the same frequency as her or vice versa. That, you know, she moves on from it. So many of us may be guided to do that this week. And at the heart of the matter, it's yet another character, the Queen of Earth. And we have the King and Queen sitting one atop the other. So for some of us, this scenario, whatever's going on this week, the energies are connected to our relationships. And maybe even involving, again, parents, mother, father, child. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Queen of Earth is very, like mothering, nurturing energy. In connection to the tarot, she would most specifically be a Taurus as the fixed sign. The fixed sign of a given element tends to be the queen. So similarly, more specifically, the Queen of Air would be an Aquarius. And we did just read about in the planetary calendar that there is a transit this week, Uranus semi-sextile Chiron, where the Queen of Air, or the planet that rules the Queen of Air, Uranus, will be located in Taurus. So that may be why these cards are showing up too. But I'm going to further clarify them with the other deck so we can get additional messages and be more clear on what is happening. I like to use 2 decks or 3 decks or 4 decks because sometimes we have the same card clarifying itself over and over and over, And you can't really get better confirmation than that. Atop the Page of Water, it's another 6 of Winter or Swords. So we just, in the last spread, what energy was that? Was that the fire signs? Yeah, the fire signs. We do have the fire energy here with the sign of Leo. It was the fire signs that had the 6 of Swords in reverse, I think. In any case, the challenging times are coming to an end. So more importantly, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. So some of us may get actual official news to that end, that some difficult situation that you were experiencing is officially coming to an end. And that's what's going to be the news that puts a smile on your face. For others of us, this is an opportunity to travel or to move or for somebody to visit us. And that makes us very happy too. It could be metaphoric movement as well. We're just moving forward with a situation or beyond, past from a situation into better times. The 6 of Swords is never a negative card. Atop the 9 of Cups, which is the wish card, the yes card, and another very positive card. It's another 9 of Cups. See, boom! This is what I was talking about. Sometimes a card likes to clarify itself. Masculine. Wow! The manifestation that some of y'all have done or will do this week. Do you see this? Pay very, very close attention again to your dreams. Write them down so that you don't forget them. Daydreams, all that, you guys should be having a diary, a journal or something, or even just a scratch paper so that you can follow through on some stuff that otherwise may leave your mind, or the synchronicities that you see, number patterns, names popping up, different things that stick out to you that you know are signs. Make note of them so that you can try to put them together later. But yeah, you're in an amazing place of manifestation. And also, remember the story of Lords that I was talking about, all those nines that showed up there too? So I think there may be a connection to that as well. And maybe because of that, for some of you, perhaps the most energetic day, I'll say, in terms of your manifestation this week, maybe it will be Tuesday, the 11th, which is the feast day again of Our Lady of Lords. And we have this sitting here atop an 11 as well. Major Arcana card 11 strength does sit right here. So moving on, atop Major Arcana card 11 strength is the 3 of Summer. So this is a very celebratory card. Just really positive energy throughout, and then again, right, then some again for the masculine this week. I'm very happy to see that. The 3 of Summer is a card that tells you maybe again, you're making up with somebody, you're reconciling with somebody or with a group of friends even. You haven't seen a group of friends in a while, but here's the strength for you to, get up the courage to go ahead and face whatever you got to face with them and reconnect, right? To go ahead and be social, get out there and party or whatever it is you're going to do. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. This can also be you asking somebody out on a date, for example, right? That's the good news, or them asking you. And then here's the 2 yeses. You're both really interested. It's not like one person's digging the other and the other one's kind of like, lukewarm on it. It looks like you both want it. And so, again, here is a celebration of a couple that can be mutually supportive of one another. A connection. Even if it's a brand new connection you just met online, going back to the dice and the dirty time maybe. And so you're meeting for the first time in person. Even those connections could potentially lead to something like this. Crowning the feminine atop the 8 of Spring of Wands is the 2 of Summer of Cups. So again, communication, not just in general, but maybe between 2 people. It can be romantic, again, with the King and Queen of Earth. Anytime the King and Queen of the same suit show up in a spread, it does for some at least mean that the spread is automatically about relationships, period. But this can again be relationships that are romantic, friendships, familial. Where they had been stuck, there is movement. Where there had been no communication, as I said, the first time around with the first set of cards, all of a sudden there is communication, there is breakthrough, there is growth, there is expansion. That's what 8s are about. 8s are about building together, and abundance and karma. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved, right? With the right communication. If you're interested in doing that, they can still be saved. Don't give up. Surrounding the feminine, atop Major Arcana card Release or Death, is the Princess of Spring, who is energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. A Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Again, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, and karma and luck. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. I'm bringing that up because I think before I said it could be Jupiter that's gifting us these things. And so that looks like confirmation of what I was saying. Atop, Major Arcana card, the Tower, is the 8 of Summer. Now this Tower is in the position of the feminine's subconscious and her mind. So this could be about an epiphany, about a revelation. And the 8 of Summer shows up to say we're going to move on from that energy that we were dealing with, one way or another. Whether it was positive energy, it was negative energy, whatever it is, we're moving on into the next phase, into something higher and better than even that. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. This tower can also be the revelation of the fact that in a more literal sense, we need to walk away from something or someone. And then this can be us actually putting that, putting that to mind and getting ready to take action steps to actually do it. Crowning atop the King of Earth or Pentacles is another major arcana card, 11, Strength. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. Now, the Strength card in relation to finances and work is, the Strength card is an amazing card in any and every area of your life in which it shows up. So in terms of abundance, even if we're talking about actual material abundance and money with the King of Earth, it means a very positive time on both sides, masculine and feminine. And may involve a Leo, so if it's a relationship thing, or this is an actual person in your life, could be not only a fire sign, but maybe more specifically a Leo, or on a larger sense, this could be because of the Leo full moon is what's making this possible for us. At the root, foundation, atop the Queen of Air or Swords is the 5 of Winter or Swords. So again, the 5 is about, or 5 of Winter or Swords is about conflict. And this Queen of Air, she's in the position of the foundation or the root. So like what led to this other crap, right? And so at the root, we may have been conflicted, or there may have been an actual conflict, or a relationship that doesn't work, or a job that doesn't work, or whatever. And remember, this Queen of Air, she's all about nixing the stuff that doesn't work. Like this is the feng shui queen. So whatever is out of alignment, she wants to rid herself of it. She's not here for it. And so I think this is showing up to clarify, this is her getting rid of things. And that's why you're moving on from something that maybe you were holding on to. Death card shows up to say you need to move on from, you need to let go of it. And this is you having that epiphany. Yeah, I get it now. I need to walk away from, again, whatever it is, or I need to allow myself to transition and to grow. And we're doing that. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Queen of Earth or Pentacles is Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini most directly, but could be the other air signs as well, maybe Libra, Aquarius. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. Maybe remember the spread my wings, fly away to a place that I long for. My heart will be the pathway. This Lovers card is sitting here right atop this card that says your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. Right? Whatever this path was. Your heart instead should be the pathway. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So if this was your logic or somebody else's logic or whatever, this is nixed. This is from what we need to move on. And definitely pay attention to your heart, your intuition, in all of your choices this week. But for some of you, those choices are definitely going to be in relation to love and relationship, and perhaps soulmate relationships, the one, or divine unions, twin flame, sacred marriage, sacred union, maybe actual 3D engagement and marriage and all of those things that happen and very typically go on around Valentine's Day, right? Further to all of this, we got advice here. From the Universal Love Oracle, it is spiritual growth. So talking about all that growth and expansion. Yeah, here is, again, the energy of Jupiter sort of showing up and doubling down and reconfirming. Yes, there is a lot of growth and expansion happening here for people in many different ways. And it is at the spiritual level, and it can be affecting their relationships too. Spiritual relationships growing, ascending. And the individuals who are part of them, whether we're single, coupled, it's complicated, whatever. Right? There's still movement and growth. For the feminine, it is sorrow. Maybe because we're having to leave something behind, or again, this is in relation to the foundation and from where we started, But, so sometimes you leaving something behind, or even if it's in the past, there could be like mixed feelings of moving forward. And I think that's why Mary shows up in this form crying for the feminine, but there'll be more positive or happy cards behind that. For the masculine, your next card is integrity. Again, say what you mean what you say this week. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what's right for you. Feminine, yep. See, here's the healing. Archangel Raphael. And I said that yesterday when I was recording the moon reading. I heard a bunch of sirens came through my window. As they just did a few minutes ago, and I tried to block them out too. And I said, oh, maybe that's Archangel Raphael has a message too, but I wanted to continue reading what I was saying. Here he is though. The healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. Okay, here's your healing work. From the Angel Tarot for the masculine, the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment and boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. So for those of you who were like mulling over, like, what should I do? Again, there is opportunity here for very positive outcomes and mutual feelings of yes, 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 and mutual support with these double strength cards too. So definitely let go of any fear that's holding you back from, moving forward with a choice that your heart is guiding you toward. Feminine, for us, it is the Nine of Fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So this is telling you, even those of you who feel maybe down, again, getting back to this, you're not out and you're guided by the angels to keep going. You're almost by the finish line. From the Animal Tarot, lastly, for the masculine, it is the Ace of Summer, Ace of Cups. You guys got like amazing cards this week. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love. So you could be meeting somebody brand new, or starting something with someone for the first time, brand new. Or this could be about reconciliation or reunion even too, right? The rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. It should say and or, because it could be all of those. Could be ascension and something going on with your relationships. And now feminine, for us, we got our own Four of Summer, our own Four of Cups, just like the masculine got. So we too guided to make sure that we pay attention to all of the blessings that the universe is trying to hand us, rather than focusing on this and thereby missing out. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you, but be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. You know why? Because there's some really exciting stuff that's happening here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the general reading. I will be back, like I said, with the love reading, and then I'm going to try to do, like I said, some sort of Valentine something for each sign. If you like the video, please actually like the video by giving it a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, please consider becoming one by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button, in hopes that you'll actually receive your notifications. And if you would like a personal private reading, energy healing, merchandise, or just to, chat with me, to be a friend, we can follow one another on social media, whatever. The information for any and all of that will be in the description box below. Thank you. Namaste.